keep having these dreams lately. I've been going on for a long time, but things in the dreams always, they seem to come in chunks, and there's a lot of the same themes over and over again. Last two nights though, very vivid dreams. Both involve going back in the Navy to different degrees, but it always breaks off into something else. First one I definitely remember 2 nights ago. It was Navy dream. We're out in Whites. I'm in some kind of like just bunch of people trying to get somewhere, and suddenly comes up like my friend Ben comes over. He's like, "Hey, I did my best, but you might want to move." And like suddenly occurs to me like, "Oh yeah, I owe the Chinese triads a lot of money for whatever reason." My friend was trying to help me, so then I spent a long time trying to avoid them, and it doesn't go out so well. And I eventually just get to the point in the dream where I just like, okay, I'm dreaming. I need to, before this gets really fucking scary, I need to snap myself out of it. It kind of worked. The dream did keep going, but it did change. But then last night, again, Navy dream. I leave the ship, and I can't find my phone. I go back on the ship, and I'm like searching under the racks and stuff in the berthing. I actually find like a bunch of other phones, which is pretty funny. Also, I was like, I found like an old flip phone. I found like a Sidekick, if you remember what those are, and I found another phone, and then I eventually find my own phone. It's like on the driveway of my old neighbor's house from middle school, because that's how dreams work. But those plots aside, I mean the main focus as always is like me back in, which has been going on. I mean, it's been out over 2 years, and like that's always a constant thing. It's never like I never left. There's always part of my brain that knows I've came back in. Sometimes I'm with old friends. Sometimes I'm with family. Sometimes on the carrier. Sometimes I'm on just a generic ship that's just built from all my memories of ships. These crazy kind of worlds, and sometimes it's mixed in with school, and it's dreams, and I think definitely the last not a decade, but under a decade somewhere. Like I have some very, very solid just areas of a dream that just kind of repeated over and over again, in a lot of different ways, and there's new nuances to it, but it's always essentially the same kind of bits that play out. A lot of them are video game based. Some of them are, it's like me and a bunch of people going traveling, or me traveling, or my family traveling, and we're going on a bus or a airplane or a boat, or I'm in an airport in some strange place. I'm always looking for shit I can't fucking find, which I know is a big thing in dreams. You can't find something, you're not ready for a test. I get all those. So there's definitely I have that anxiety of like not being ready for something, and of course you're always just, when you're in a dream, you always seem just like woefully unprepared for what you're doing. And it's like I always seem like, oh God, I can't find my shoes. Like I'm trying to get off my bus with my sea bag or something. I'm like, I can't find my fucking shoes. Sometimes I think about it like a phone or a wallet, or just any kind of monetary ability. Sometimes in my dreams I think like, if I have my wallet on me, I'm like, oh, if I don't have money on me, I can use a credit card. But my dream brain always seems to take a while to figure that out. It's like oh my God, I have no cash. How am I going to do this? But the things, the mixes with school, I actually thought that would kind of fade, because once I started actually going to school for real, I figured that part would just, I'm actually doing school again. And in my past, when I was actually doing stuff that was showing up in my dreams, it kind of faded out. And my brain wasn't interested in stuff that I was actually doing. But the school stuff still stays current. And, it's no doubt, I mean, I recognize that I'm going to probably have Navy dreams the rest of my life. I mean, there's no way to get around it. It's 20 years. It'll be interesting to see how they change. And it's also interesting, just, the different places I've lived and, like, how they pop up so much. A lot of it's from still childhood. I have dreams of living in my old house in Powder Springs, Georgia, which I moved out of when I was 8. Villa Rica, like I said, it's constant going over to my, either in that house in Villa Rica or over at the neighbors is a very, very common one lately. Kind of find that interesting. A lot of places keep reoccurring, and they don't exist in real life, but there's things my brains have constructed. It's like an airport in Asia somewhere. It's like in a mall. I go there all the time in my dreams, and like enough to where like I seem to have some kind of real knowledge of where things are. And that includes also people, the people who don't exist, but people who pop up regularly in my dreams who I have a history with in that little world. And it's not a memory I keep in my waking life, because as soon as you wake up, everything starts to scatter and it's so hard to remember. But I know it's like, oh man, I just saw my friend, and it's like it's not a real person. It's somebody in my dreams all the time that I've created, full cloth just from random what dreams are, as we kind of think now, is just random bits of just your brain trying to figure itself out. There's no secret heavy meaning to it. Definitely dreams can represent certain emotions you're having at the moment, anxiety, worry, stuff like that. Obviously that comes through in dreams. Maybe it's not as people put all these deep emotional metaphor meanings into it. I don't think the brain's quite doing that, but the subconscious does tend to pull up a lot of really base emotions you're going through at the time. And dreams kind of the bits of that will come through in a dream, I think. And just all these just these themes just always popping up. I'm really interested tonight. Is it going to be another Navy related dream? Is it going to be involving trying to organize some kind of event, party? Where's that going to go? Is there going to be school involved? Am I going to suddenly be sucked into a video game of some sort? Am I suddenly, who am I hanging out with? Which of my friends are going to pop up? Which something from the old days is going to just randomly be there. So my dad shows up and he's always live and well, and there's never a thing about it, which is it's cool, but kind of sad and depressing. And just what thing from my anxiety is going to cause me to go look for my phone, or my schoolwork, or just my fucking shoes, or my uniform if I'm back in the service. Though I find that's just interesting stuff, just kind of exploring my own brain pan and what it's going on with. Certainly traveling is a big part of it. I touched on that before, but yeah, I'm always traveling. I'm always just on the road somewhere, and my survival ability is it fluctuates. Sometimes everything is going good. Sometimes it's I'm on the road by myself or with one other person with minimal supplies, and we're doing this and that, and it's pretty intense, and it's it's not really anything I've ever actually experienced. Like I said, the dream life is just a montage of random shit a lot of times. Sometimes you get yourself caught in one situation or another. Definitely with what's going on in the modern day, that'll pop up. Sometimes it's some really old stuff pops up. Sometimes it's just a created situation, and the worst is when you feel really strongly about something one way or the other. Is you had a big fight with somebody, or you felt something really great happened and you're really happy about it. Either way, you wake up the next day and it's oh my God, that's none of that happened, but it's still in my brain and it's affected my emotions. And now I gotta, hopefully get through that in the morning and like, hopefully, kind of pull yourself out of that, because, sometimes you run into people, something happened in the dream that's completely not real, but now you're in, the real world, and you have all these emotions about this person, about something that never really happened, and it's like you have a little awkward time for a day or so. It can really happen. Anyway, I thought it would be an interesting a bit to talk about here. Just a random stream of conscious for right now, but I'd like to hear what you guys, my former military vets and their kind of dreams they had. Is anyone else listening is like they have similar experiences? Like it's a really fascinating little topic for me. So that's all I got for now. Peace.